Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, Victoria police arrest a man on 6 charges. The heat is on Center Point Energy as the weather heats up in Houston and the power is still out. And Lawaka County EMS is called to Houston to help victims of Beryl.
We are getting a couple of thunder showers around the area, part of our garden variety storms that are firing every afternoon. There's the heaviest one. There's Victoria. It's out to the west of us right now on the way to Cuero. Now this activity will continue for maybe 1.5 more days, and then looks like a heat wave for next week. We'll talk about it coming up in a moment.
And Refugio Track and Field wins multiple Coach of the Year awards. That's in sports.
25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker. Karina Garcia is off tonight. New details have come out in a murder case on Monday on East Water Street. A search warrant revealed that Virginia Ann Martinez was at a family gathering when her son, Trevon Martinez, who is accused of stabbing her, became upset, believing people were disrespecting him. Family members say he pulled a knife and Virginia Ann Martinez stepped in to take Trevon to the car and leave. They could not reach her and recognized her SUV on a social media post showing she'd been in a crash. The warrant also indicates the victim had a large cut and smaller cuts to the right side of her neck. Family members told police Trevon suffers from psychosis and is diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic and was known to carry a butterfly-style knife. Victoria police arrested a 39-year-old man Thursday. Jaime Garcia of Victoria faces 6 charges, including 2 for manufacture and delivery of a controlled substance. He is in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $100,000 bond. Residents in the Houston area are losing patience with Center Point Energy. It says it has restored power for more than 1 million customers, but more than 1 million are still in the dark, days after Hurricane Beryl moved through the area.
2 full days after Beryl left the Houston area, CenterPoint says it has met its initial power restoration goal.
We know that we have never before restored 1 million customers in 48 hours.
But 1 million is only half the battle, and Company Vice President Dan Carroll says the deeper you get into disaster recovery, the pace of repairs will begin to slow.
You can expect the second half of the storm for the run rate not to be 1 million every 48 hours, which is basically what we've done thus far.
So could we be looking at next week with people still out of power?
We're not ready to announce that just yet.
We questioned Carroll about the decision not to request more mutual aid workers from out of town. After Beryl hit, CenterPoint scrambled to get thousands more external boots on the ground.
Was it a money issue?
Not at all.
You could have called in more, but you didn't.
That's right.
Money had nothing to do with it?
No, absolutely not. It does not come into the calculus when making these decisions.
The company VP maintains when it comes to pre-hurricane preps, he would not have done anything differently. Looking forward, we also asked about CenterPoint's newly released outage map and complaints from 11 News viewers who live in a green or supposedly energized area but are still without power.
What good is a map if it's not accurate?
Yeah, we're working on the accuracy right now. We track it consistently. We're making adjustments to the map as we speak it. The other thing I want customers to know is even if you see yourself in that green on the map, don't worry, we know you're out of power and we are going to get to you.
3 months before Hurricane Beryl, CenterPoint issued a report that it would need $2 billion to harden its system against extreme weather. The company says Beryl marks the 3rd major storm to hit its service area, taking a heavy toll on its capacity and infrastructure. Here is your viewer poll this evening. Scan that QR code on your screen to vote. Here's the question. Should utility companies be held accountable for prolonged outages during extreme weather events? 43% of our voters say yes, 57% say no. We thank you for voting. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. I will have an update on 25 News Now at 10. AEP Texas says its crews restored electric service to 92% of the 35,000 customers left without power after Beryl. 2 counties in the Crossroads are reporting power outages after Beryl. Over 1,800 customers in Matagorda County are without power after Beryl made landfall there. Wharton County still has over 100 customers without power. Acting Governor Dan Patrick announced that federal SNAP food assistance will become available to those who lost food as a result of Beryl. SNAP recipients must apply for replacement benefits that will be placed on their Lone Star cards within 2 business days once benefits are approved. SNAP recipients in the counties listed in the disaster declarations must apply for replacement benefits by August 8th. Those include Calhoun, DeWitt, Goliad, Jackson, Lavaca, Matagorda, Refugio, Victoria, and Wharton counties. Late Tuesday night, Lavaca County EMS was contacted by the state's Emergency Medical Task Force. They were sent to the Houston area due to the overwhelming requests from 911 calls and requests for EMS. Lavaca County EMS sent 4 paramedics and 2 ambulances to help with the request and joined EMSs from all over the state. They met at NRG Stadium and were assigned to the Manville area. And now let's take a first look at your forecast. Here's First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Bettis. And Mac, we had a little bit of storm activity in the Crossroads today.
Yes, but I call it a good rain. A good rain without any severe weather problems is always good. Now, of course, you know, it might interfere, may be inconvenient, but we need the rain. We didn't get it from Beryl, remember? So we had another round of shower activity around the area. Right now, there's one heavy one just right outside the city, but you can see it's all along the coastal bend where we have plenty of heat and moisture to trigger that activity. Probably the problem is that's going away, and next week we're looking at a good old-fashioned heat wave. We'll talk more about that coming up in a moment. Don, back to you.
Mac, thank you. House Republicans passed a bill on Wednesday that would require documentary proof of U.S. citizenship to register to vote in federal elections. It's illegal for people who are not U.S. citizens to vote in federal contests, and experts say it rarely happens, given that violators face imprisonment and deportation. The bill also includes provisions for removing non-citizens from federal voter registration polls. U.S. Representative District 27 Michael Cloud, an original co-sponsor of the bill, had this statement on its passage, quote, "The American people deserve to have confidence in the integrity of their elections, and it is imperative that we uphold the rule of law and ensure that every vote cast is a legal one," unquote. The head of the Texas House Ethics Committee says Attorney General Ken Paxton's claim he's being impeached again is meritless. The Texas Tribune reports Paxton on Wednesday evening said the Texas House Ethics Committee, which scheduled a meeting for next week, is planning to recommend impeaching him a second time. Paxton did not provide evidence for his claim. House General Investigating Committee Chairman Andrew Murr, a Republican from Junction, said Paxton was wrong. Former President Donald Trump asked a New York judge to dismiss his criminal hush money case and vacate his conviction on 34 felony counts. Trump argues the trial was, in his words, tainted by evidence and testimony that the Supreme Court's landmark ruling on presidential immunity now makes off limits. Trump's lawyers argued that prosecutors violated the Supreme Court's immunity doctrine by using evidence related to official acts, including testimony from former White House aides to fill, quote, glaring holes in their case, unquote. Actress Shelley Duvall has died at age 75. Her longtime life partner told The Hollywood Reporter Duvall died in her sleep at their Central Texas home in Blanco of complications of diabetes. Duvall was known for her thin physique, large, expressive eyes, and powerful performances. She was a standout starring opposite Jack Nicholson in the horror film The Shining and Robin Williams in the comedy Popeye. Hardcore fans of cinema also recognize her for her roles in movies by acclaimed filmmaker Robert Altman. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Then you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. And stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, an ammunition vending machine is now available near a school in San Antonio. Residents are not happy. Also ahead, barrel causes more problems, this time in the Northeast. People in suburban San Antonio are up in arms over ammunition for arms. A retail store has a new vending machine where gun owners can get what they need to fill up their weapons of choice. Local opinions are mixed.
I cannot imagine anyone thinking this is a good idea.
I think it's a good idea.
Not everyone's on board with the American Rounds ammunition vending machine at the Lowe's Market on Sattler Road in Canyon Lake. But according to the American Rounds CEO, Grant Majors, this doesn't work like any old vending machine. This is a video they posted on their website.
You can see here we have, a very secure automated retail machine. We're able to age verify. We scan a driver's license. It then takes 360 facial recognition for the purchase and matches it to the ID.
Much different than just putting in your dollar in the machine dropping out your chosen delight. However, it's not just the increased availability of ammo that's a concern to some. It's also the fact that this machine is in a store that's located less than 200 yards from a middle school.
There are literally every day after school children hanging out in that parking lot, going in to buy snacks. It's just extra disturbing to me that it's in a place where children have direct access to it.
Speaking with employees at the market today, they said the machine was put in because that's what their clientele is interested in. And most of the people I spoke to today feel the exact same way.
I enjoy shooting. I'm a Texan. I think everybody should have the right to buy guns and ammo if they license for it and everything.
We reached out to the owner of Lowe's Market today, but did not get a response.
A grocery store in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, also had an ammunition vending machine in place since last November. But the company, American Rounds, recently removed it for what it called a business decision. The Internal Revenue Service is cracking down on wealthy tax cheats. Last fall, the IRS launched an initiative to collect from millionaires who have not paid the taxes they owe. The agency identified about 1,600 taxpayers with more than $1 million in income who have more than $250,000 in tax debt. To date, more than $1 billion has been recovered from those individuals. The effort is still ongoing. Prices fell in June for the first time since the start of the pandemic. The Bureau of Labor Statistics' latest Consumer Price Index report shows consumer prices dropped 0.1% on a monthly basis. That brought the annual inflation rate down to 3% from 3.3% in May. This marks the first month-on-month decline since May 2020. U.S. stock futures rose on the good inflation news. Investors hope that will pave the way for the Federal Reserve to lower painfully high interest rates. Multiple states are under heat alerts again today. In those areas, air conditioning could be a matter of life or death. and the death toll is growing.
In several states today, air conditioning is a matter of life or death. Studies show the human body can start overheating when it's in the 90s, depending on humidity. The Houston area is under a heat advisory today. Experts suggest people there stay in air conditioning, but many lost power in Hurricane Beryl.
When you don't have power, when it's pitch black at night, when it's hot as Hades during the day, it's a miserable situation.
The western U.S. also is baking today. Officials think recent heat is responsible for deaths in Oregon and California.
There's going to be people who just don't make it through this.
Among the fatalities in the Bay Area are people who didn't have homes.
I could see them, having a lot of death involved in that, because it's just body can't withstand the temperatures in these cars and vans,
Even cities that are cooler today have had heat alerts this summer.
As we replace open space that's permeable and moist with roads and infrastructure that's dry and impermeable, that draws in heat.
Research shows that infrastructure can make poorer neighborhoods even hotter. And air conditioning, of course, costs money.
Heat is dangerous for everyone, but it's especially dangerous for those that might not have resources to cool off.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Beryl made landfall at Matagorda Monday as a Category 1 hurricane, but its effects were still being felt Wednesday and Thursday as far north and east as Vermont. The flooding in Vermont led to evacuations, knocked out bridges, and washed away an apartment building. And at least one person in the state was killed during the storm. He was in a vehicle when floodwaters swept him away.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. For us, we had another round of shower activity. Hopefully, you don't consider it a nuisance. I like it when we get rain and don't get any severe problems with it. This shower activity was very nice for today. 82 is our current temperature. Managed to get up to 88 as our high temperature, and unfortunately, we only got 0.02 of an inch of rain out at the airport. Coming up, we'll be talking about our chances for more showers, then our chances for a big old heat wave coming up next week. We'll have all that coming up in a moment. Well, I got one for you here. This is classic Texas, right? So this gentleman got caught in the floodwaters in Houston, so he pulled over to the Whataburger. While he was there, he saw a lot of water streaming by the creek, so he pulled out the fishing pole and he caught a bass. How about that? So that's only in Texas, a Whataburger and a bass, all that at the same time. Anyway, we again got more showers around the area today. We had one particular one that was a little heavy by the city. We'll show you that in a moment. But you can see how the coastal bend basically is picking up the sea breeze activity. We've got all this moisture in the ground and on the air, and still we have an unstable atmosphere left over from Beryl. So every afternoon these things pop up. We've got maybe another day of this, day and a half maybe, and then it sort of goes away. Here's the city right now, and there's the storm I was talking about. It was pretty hefty there for a couple of hours. We were hearing thunder and lightning. I'm sure you heard it too, but there it begins to collapse within the last hour, and you can see how it's going to be decreasing. Tonight, we'll get a little bit of cooling courtesy of the thunder shower activity, but not a lot of cooling. You know, it's still quite humid out there. There is Victoria. We'll zoom into the county, and you can see that from Edna, it looks like they got significant rainfall in the 2 to 3 inch range. Also down in Calhoun County, the Victoria County got a good, average inch, but it looks like down 59 toward Goliad, they got even heavier than that. And those two are in the watershed, so that's good. Now, we are not in the heat advisory for tomorrow. It all continues out there. You know, if you thought today was humid for us, can you imagine what these folks are going to? The last estimate I saw is there's 500,000 people still without electricity or heating or cooling for the weekend, and who knows when they'll get it all back done. Now, here was the last report on Beryl over the Great Lakes, but the remnants continued moving northbound and produced all that heavy rain, as Don was mentioning, big floods in Vermont, of all places, from a tropical storm. Think about that. On the record books, Beryl came in with a whole bunch of new records. These are just some of them. It was the first Cat 4 that we've had in June, because this is really kind of an August thing. It was the earliest Cat 5 on record. We've never had a Cat 5 on record. When it hit Grenada, it hit at 150 miles an hour. When it hit Tulum, which is the Yucatan, at 110 miles an hour, and when it went over Matagorda, 80 miles an hour, and there's a whole lot more records that we can deal with here. Now, this is tonight, and then starting tomorrow morning, and then we'll go into tomorrow afternoon. That would be on your Friday. Well, you can see how we've got temperatures that are beginning to rise. Now, we've had, of course, the cloud cover, and so we'll be covered by that. But the rest of the country is dealing with 100-degree temperatures, and the western states are sizzling. 110 degrees in places like Utah. Yeah, and that's the heat dome, which over the next few days, 4 or 5 days, is going to start expanding over us and over much of America. And this is going to be the big problem all next week as the July heat, the real bad stuff, starts showing up. More showers again tomorrow afternoon in Port Lavaca. More showers again tomorrow afternoon in Cuero. And as you can see, we've got shower activity Friday, a little bit less on Saturday, a little bit less on Sunday, and then the good old heat wave starts rolling back in. We'll be in the mid and upper 90s because we're so close to the coast, but many areas of inland Texas are going to be at or above 100 next week. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone, and here's Don.
Mac, thank you. And Max Williams has your sports. Max has an update on fast times at Refugio High.
Yes, I do, Don. Refugio Track and Field wins multiple Coach of the Year awards this past track season. We have that coming up in sports. Stay with us. More honors out of Refugio Track and Field, this time for boys and girls coaches. Adam Spiegelman and Katie Green have been named Texas High School Coaches Association Coaches of the Year. The boys track and field team just capped off yet another state championship season, going back-to-back with a three-peat. And the girls team finished tied for first as co-champions. Refugio is still one of the greatest track schools in the state of Texas, no stranger to winning. They do graduate a handful of seniors, but if history tells us anything, the Bobcats will replace what they've lost in terms of speed. The Generals lost to the Gumbo Gators last night at Riverside Stadium. The Generals got on the board first with an RBI single by UTS's own Diego Diaz. It would add one more run with a wild pitch from Gators starting pitcher Rondicile Iglesias, making it 2-0. But the Gators added some runs in the third and fourth inning, and it would be enough to split the two-game series. The Generals are back in action tonight against the Baton Rouge in Louisiana. First pitch is at 7 p.m. The Houston Astros beat the Miami Marlins last night at Minute Maid Park. In the second inning, Jake Myers doubled down the left field line, bringing in John Singleton, and the Astros got up 2-0. They would get some insurance runs by a two-run blast by Joey Loperfido, making it 4-0 Astros, and they would never look back and get a massive home win, and now they're 2 games back from the AL West lead. They play the Marlins tonight at 7:10 p.m. to wrap up a 3-game series. The Texas Rangers lost to the Los Angeles Angels last night. We pick it up in the bottom of the second inning. The score is 1-0 until Mickey Moniak hits a 3-run homer, making the Angels up 4-0. They would continue to dominate with an RBI single from Zach Neto, extending the lead to 5-0. The Rangers tried to answer with a 2-run shot from Leody Taveras, but the only 2 runs they would get. They lost the game 7-2 and are back tomorrow against the Astros for the Battle of the Silver Boot. Just a reminder that the 2024 ESPYs will be right here on KAVU tonight at 7 p.m. The Texas Rangers are up for the Best Team of the Year, and Houston's own Simone Biles is up for Best Comeback Athlete, and Caitlin Clark is up for Best College Athlete, amongst many others. And finally, the U.S. men's national team fired head coach Greg Berhalter. This happened after the disappointing group stage exit in this year's Copa America. Berhalter has been a coach for 6 years and has led the team to the knockout stage of the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Berhalter had a record of 44-17-3 and is currently looking for a replacement right now for the 2026 World Cup. And speaking of, again, teams, the men's basketball team, Kawhi Leonard, no longer a participant due to injury concerns and will be replaced by Derek White. That's everything in sports. Don, back to you.
Max, thank you. We're back in a moment. Friday is National Friday. Get it? Friday and Friday. Okay. Finally tonight, Friday is National French Fry Day, and here's how you can score some free fries this week and beyond at no cost. At McDonald's, through its app, you can get a free medium order of fries with any purchase of $1 or more. Over at Burger King, members of its loyalty program also get a free order of fries, any size, with a purchase of $1 or more. And at Wendy's, you can get a free order of fries, any size, with a purchase by redeeming the offer in its app. Those 3 offers are good for this Friday and every Friday for the rest of 2024. What a country. We have 5 locations where our hurricane tracking guide can be picked up. So go to crossroadstoday.com, click on weather, hurricane tracker, and you'll see it on your right below Storm Prep 2024, an excellent television program. And so you can get those maps and get ready for, well,
yeah.
I hope our hurricane season has ended.
I kind of doubt that, Don.
Really?
I mean,
really?
We're only at B.
Well,
A, B, C, D, E, F. No, I don't think it's over. But the little thing that we did here is got phone numbers, ideas, suggestions, evacuation routes, all that stuff. So if you pick one up or scan that out, you can look at it and take a look at it and have it with you. But obviously, we prefer it if you watch us at night, and we've got everything for you as well.
Well, they can watch us at night, and then they can track the coordinates.
We give the coordinates out every night, and there you go. So I don't believe that it's the end of the season, so we just have to be ready for it, because it's not till June. Well, June, July, August, September.
End of November.
End of November. So we're talking tomorrow a few more afternoon showers, kind of like you saw today. No severe weather, just a couple of downpours here and there. Otherwise, the weekend we start drying up, and next week looks very hot and a heat wave coming in.
Thank you, Mac, and thanks for joining us. We'll see you tonight for 25 News Now after the ESPYs. Have a good one, everybody.